All right, guys, in this box, we got a brand new battery from LiTime. Let's open it up. All right, and here's the battery. So what we have here is LiTime's new rack mount 48 volt 100 amp hour battery. This is their ComFlex edition. And I believe that's because it has all these communication options here. So let's go ahead and turn it on and take a look at this screen. And I believe that it is touchscreen. So let's take a, there we go. So there's our home screen, and we have real-time data here. So it tells us the voltage, current, state of charge, remaining capacity, and our full capacity. We've got a status button here. It tells us if any of these protection triggers are set. And here we've got a protocol setting. So we can select protocol for the 485 and the CAN bus ports right here. So the 485 is set to LiTime. Oh, it looks like we got to enter a password. I wonder if that's in the manual. Okay, I do see a password here in the manual. It is 123456. So let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Now we're in. Okay, so check it out. We can select LiTime's 45 protocol, GrowWatt, DI, Lux Power, and there's another page here. SRNE, Pylon Tech, Voltronic, Schneider. Wow, that's some awesome flexibility there on the 485 protocol. Let's check the CAN protocol. Right now it's set to Victron. All right, so we got Victron, SMA, GrowWatt, DI, Studer, Pylon Tech, Mega Revo, Synergy, TBB, Schneider, and Sorotech. So that's a lot of protocols there on the CAN side. That's awesome. Then we've got a settings here. It just shows us our software version and our language that we can select. We also got this little battery icon up here. Let's press that and see what that does. Okay, that gives us our main status. So it's telling us our state of charge. Our status is standby right now because we're not charging or discharging. Our current is 0 because obviously we're not charging or discharging. Our voltage and our condition is normal. Now I'm actually really curious. This thing is set to Victron on the CAN bus. Can we plug a Venus OS device in this and it start working? Alright, so over here I've got my little Raspberry Pi booting up with Victron Venus OS on it, and I do have a CAN bus adapter hooked up to this. So I'm curious if we plug this into the CAN bus interface on the battery, will it communicate? All right, so this is booted up, so let's plug this into the CAN bus on the battery. There we go. Let's see if anything happens over here. Oh, it sure did, guys. Check it out. It's showing us our stated charge of the battery. So yes, right out of the box, this thing will CAN bus to a Victron Venus OS device. That would be your, like your servo kind of devices, or if you just built your own Raspberry Pi device, and it works right out of the box. That is awesome. Yeah, so we can see that it shows a Victron battery. So it's speaking the Victron protocol here. We can click on it and see. Yeah, it shows our state of charge. It's 50%. Our state of health is 100%. Our battery temperature. See details here. Shows our highest and lowest cell voltage. Temperatures. Our available capacity. our alarms. So all the alarms are okay. We can look at the parameters. We can see our voltage limits, our current limits. So very neat. That is pretty awesome. All right, guys. So now I got a battery charger ready to plug in here. So let's go ahead and start charging this guy up. There we go. And we should be able to see something happening on this screen, which we do. We see 16.5 amps going in from our charger. And we should also see that power coming in on the Victron Venus device here, which we do. We see 875 watts and 16.5 amps going in. We see our state of charge here is rising. We're now at 51%. All right, I'm just gonna let this thing fully charge. All right, so I got the battery charged up to 100% now. I've got my shunt hooked up, this inverter, and the AC is going to act as the load. So we're going to start a capacity test. Let's go ahead and turn the inverter on. That will start our test. There we go. Let's turn our AC on. All right, so now we're pulling power. Doing a little over 500 watts at this very moment. 660, about 12.3 amps. So I'll just let that continue on, and I'll be back when it's complete, and we'll check the results. Okay, so we have discharged down to 0%. That means that we have discharged the full 100 amp hours. But it's still going. So I'll just let it continue on, and then I can pull up the app for this guy and we can see how many watt hours it actually discharged. All right, so the battery shut down. I just turned it back on here. Let's see if we can get it to wake back up. All right, so it's saying it's at 0% here. I've got to power this up so I can see what the final result is. So I will have to hook this charger up to it so I can get some power back into this. All right, there we go. I just woke it up. All right, so now we're connected with the app and we can see how many kilowatt hours we discharged. We got 5.39 kilowatt hours. So 5,390 watt hours divided by nominal voltage of 51.2 gives us 105.27 amp hours. All right, it's that time, everybody's favorite time. I've already got the screws removed, so all we gotta do is just slide this lid off. And there we go. So we've got the BMS here. It's a big chunky guy. Everything looks very tidy. All the wiring is tidy and tied up. Everything is wrapped. So this is some kind of plastic shield to keep the cells from shorting, I guess, on the lid. I think we got Phillips screws there. Let's take those out. And here we go. All right, there's all the cells. The little sense wires here are routed very nice, zip tied every step of the way. Nothing messy whatsoever. We've got aluminum welded bus bars. They do have a relief hump in them. We do have spacers in between each cell, so that's good. Yeah, the build quality looks great. I don't see anything to complain about here. It looks like we've got temperature sensors here, 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 and here. All right, so I got the charger reconnected here. And I got one of these temperature sensors lifted here. So let's try to freeze this and see if the low temperature protection works. Okay, so we're showing 16 amps going in. See if I can hit this sensor here. Yep, it does indeed work. So we stopped charging. Let's see if we can warm it back up. See, I think we gotta see if we can restart the charge. All right, now we're back to charging. All right, guys, I think that's gonna be it for this video. As always, let me know what you think about this battery. I'll leave links in the description, and I'll catch you on the next one.